Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Curling Stadium's coverage of the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. My name is Jim Nix, and we are live from the Swift Current Curling Club in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, for the opening draw on this event. Second week in a row we were in Swift Current, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any changes in ice conditions or anything from last week. This morning's game is going to feature Kaitlyn Laws from Winnipeg versus Jolene Campbell from Regina. Kaitlyn Law's team has played a lot this year. She did miss a few weeks with delivering baby Ella back in November, early November. So she's back now in full form and looking to get ready for playdowns and whatnot as we move along here through the Christmas season. A couple of rocks in here. We just got going. Obviously, guard went up first. Laws does have hammer by virtue of covering the pin on her draw to the button. And nice come around by lead Danya Demons for Team Campbell. Nice to see a lot of action here already here in the first end. It's not the norm. Most of the time we seem to be pretty wide open first ends, but these teams are going to go right at it early, which is great. A little short. So Campbell without hammer in a pretty good position already in this end. This one on the button basically and behind multiple guards. Second stone for Team Campbell is Rachel Erickson. Seen the Campbell team a couple of times this year. I don't think they play a full schedule, but certainly they play in some events, especially in the western part of the country. Nice looking shot there. Nice to bury a touch more, but not bad. Kaitlyn Laws has time to clean up. 6 rock at the end, so she's able to go out and get rid of some of this traffic in front of the house. Second stone, Jocelyn Peterman for Team Laws. That's a very solid team. All throw the rock really well. And this one's going to overcurl a little bit. Going to get both, but leave the guard. At least it's their guard now. Team Laws has played what looks like about 7 events this year, suffering a little bit from the semifinal block, I guess, if you want to call it that, where 4 of the 7 events they lost in the semifinals, had a couple of DNQs, and lost once in the tiebreaker. So they'll be looking to kind of put it together a little bit past that as we move on. Certainly a team you'd expect to see in finals quite regularly. Not that easy in the women's game, nor the men's game, but certainly not that easy in the women's game to get to a final now. There's so many really good teams. It's an intern guard. Be interesting to see the ice conditions this week. Ice was very good last week here in Swift Current, and I expect not to be much different. It was a little bit straighter, didn't have quite as hard a finish as some places, but it looks like it's going to curl plenty today. I suspect they may have worked a little bit on rocks over the last week. So Kaitlyn Law is going to run her yellow into the reds now, try to pick up a couple of these rocks. Peterman with her second here in the first end. No turn peel. Looks very close. She's going to get 1, 2. That's a great shot. Left a center guard, but it's going to be hard to not leave something there. And did get rid of 2 rocks and replace the guard with your own. So overall, not bad. Expect Campbell to go right around again. Or she's going to go with a higher guard. Also an option. I think most would like to tuck around a little bit, but I think she's a little bit afraid of the fact there's yellow at the back of the house there that she doesn't want to have it come into play. I think if you're going to beat Kaitlyn also, you're going to have to be prepared to go when you have an opportunity. You're going to have to be prepared to take it. So looking like the call is going to be the high guard, a higher guard at least. Getting some final directions there. Third stone, Abby Ackland for Team Campbell. As we mentioned, Campbell plays out of Regina here in Saskatchewan. I'm not too sure how far away that is from Swift Current, as I am actually located on the East Coast. Nice looking shot here. She ends up coming around. I don't know if that's what they were actually doing, but I kind of like it. You do run the risk of a run back here, but I like the aggressiveness of going in there. That might have been a sort of a plan B there as it was coming down, just kind of a little reset on the shot call. The sweepers might have indicated the weight was a little bit up for the straight guard. Not sure though. We don't have volume. We don't have sound from the ice. So sometimes, unless they really show us or we can figure it out, we don't really know on a shot like that if they were going in or going around. Selena Negevin now will look to make the peel or the run back. This one's curling a little too much, I think. She's got a piece of 1. She won't quite get it out of play, but it's actually only third shot, so it's not a big problem. Bit surprised now that she's going to just go high again. I think that you could come around that and half bury it, Christmas tree it, as they say, and be in pretty good shape. But regardless, she's going to go with the high guard, make it good, and it's fine. Ackland with her second rock here in the first end. I'd like this to overlap that yellow just a little bit. Not going to love that shot. Doesn't really do very much, to be honest. Helpful if Selena misses a shot, then it's a helpful stone, but out turn run back for Selena Negevin. Might be a little bit wide. Not sure she's going to get enough curl to get to it, and she won't. So a bit of a missed opportunity for Team Laws there. Had a chance to maybe make that run back and sit 2 even. And stay with this guard. Nothing really wrong with this call. It's just that some teams would choose to be a little bit more aggressive, even though you don't have a hammer. Sometimes if the situation's right, it's not a bad idea to come around, come right into the 8-foot on that. But regardless, Jolene Campbell now is going to throw her first here in the first end, and she can make a good guard. She'll be in a good position to perhaps steal 1 here and early in this game. Had to go out turn on this one. I'm sure they saw this in practice, so they should have a pretty good feel for the ice, the amount of curl, and to the weight. This one's going to come a little bit deep. It's actually not bad. I think the double is very difficult. And it looks like number 2. So Kaitlyn Lawes will have to make a play on it. For Lawes, it does give her a chance to sit number 2, number 3, and put some heat on the Campbell team. By the look of this, the ice that they took for that and where that rock ended up, I would say that definitely more curl than last week and nice finish, and it should be a great event. A lot of good teams in this event. Most of the top Canadian teams are here, both in the women's side and the men's side. And I believe there's 3 non-Canadian teams on the ladies' side. I think Fujisawa from Japan, and Schwaller from Switzerland, who won last week's event, and one more. I don't have them in front of me. I'm just trying to go by memory here, but one team out of the U.S., and I don't know if it's Peterson or not. It might not be. So Kaitlyn Lawes now will look to remove the red in the 12-foot and stay just at number 2 or number 3. It's going to have to spin in a little bit to get that, but I think that's quite doable. This one looked a little bit wide. It's quite wide. She's going to have to go some to hit anything. She's going to get the back one, I think. Oh, she did. So fortunate, real fortunate actually, to take that rock right off the button. Force Campbell now to make a good shot to make sure that she doesn't give up more than one. And a lot less chance of scoring unless you can make this one really good. So basically, she just threw a draw to the top of the 12-foot there, top of the 8-foot rather, and it's should need the same weight, maybe a tiny little bit more. It is early in the game, but this is a big shot for Jolene. It's kind of set a bit of a tone, maybe, if you can get in there into the top of the button and force Kaitlyn to either a very difficult shot or possibly one that she can't really make, just because of the amount of weight she'd have to throw to remove the stone. If you can make it perfect, it could be very, very difficult. Sweepers are just cleaning a little bit, waiting to catch the curl. Needs to go. It probably will from about the hog line in. Usually everything goes hard here. It has been. This looks really good. Just a little tiny bit heavy, but a great shot for the first end for Jolene Campbell. Forces Kaitlyn Lawes to either hit the high one and give up one because there's no double there. Could possibly go around it and pick it out, but I think you'll see her play the draw. Be tough, I think, to come around the high one on the out turn and stay. You'd have to throw like a board weight or a hack weight. I don't know if you can get enough of it. She thinks maybe she can't. If I had to bet, I'd bet that she's right. And I'm not, but it's a tough draw to throw the in-turn draw and outdraw that, but I just kind of think I like that shot better. And I'm not 100% sure on who's number 2 here, but I was leaning towards the red, but it may not be. If it's a yellow and if she can pick this out, though, it would be for 2. It's Kaitlyn Lawes with a pretty difficult shot here in the first end. Flared the last one. Same shot, normal weight. The first one was a normal weight out turn takeout, and she just kind of got it outside quite a bit, probably for her standards for sure. This one's out there a bit too. He's going to have to go hard just to get by that corner guard. Jocelyn Peterman working it hard. Just great sweeping job. Terrific shot and terrific sweeping. That was so close to hitting the guard. Just kind of waiting to see if I can find out how many they get here for a second. See if they put it up quick. If not, we'll get it when we come back. So we will do that. So it was a score of 1 or 2 for Kaitlyn Laws. Either way, a great shot. We'll know in a minute when we come back from the break as to what the actual score is. We're back for end number 2 here in our first opening draw coverage on the women's side of this event, where Kaitlyn Laws scored in the first end, or Jolene Campbell. We just don't know how many yet. It was pretty close for number 2, and they haven't helped us out yet by hanging the score, but it was a great shot either way. It has to be a bit disappointing for the Campbell rank. They played a very good first end, made some good guards, got away with 1. Oh, it was a score of 2 in the first end for Laws, so she leads 2-0 here in the second. So yeah, even more of a disappointment for Campbell. Then she was just on the edge of stealing a point, and to be honest, I didn't think Kaitlyn's last rock hit was going to come off the outside guard, and Jocelyn Peterman went hard to kind of directional sweep that one in the right direction. And just got it by the outside guard and picked the one off and stayed for 2. So great shot, good team shot, well managed. Campbell can't be disappointed with her first end, but she has hammer now, so she'll have to see what she can do about it. Couple of rocks in. First one went into the 4-foot. Campbell threw a quarter guard, and Laws, just as you just saw, was just threw a guard on that. Campbell now looking for a freeze on the rock in the 4-foot. From lead Kristen Gordon, formerly Kristen McCush. And as long as the players are who it says on our sheet, we offer up congratulations for her wedding back in July of 2024. Working hard to get this one by. Looks like it's going to be a little bit on the light side. It is. Fortunately, moved it a little bit. It would not have been as good if it had left a stagger there. Kaitlyn Laws now looking to maybe throw the high guard. That's what it looked like. She was pointing down there halfway down the sheet, but I'm sure she didn't mean there. Looking to throw this one probably halfway between the hog line and the house would be good. She did talk briefly about going right in, or at least tapped in. So we're I'm going to flip the teams around there. I'm going to last comment. If I did, I apologize for that. Laws throwing a high guard. Peterman, that's a good shot. Campbell looking at coming right around, tapping, and maybe a little bit or freezing to it. I think if you're going to go there, you want to move it a little bit. Second stone, Rachel Erickson. Tough shot. I thought she might peel the guard. It's a little heavier than they were looking for. But it could, if she can sneak it by that outside guard, It's a great shot. Looked very similar to Kaitlyn Lawes' shot in the first end. And some really nice finish here in Swift Current. That's a very good shot. Made that look easy. Laws will ask Peterman to play the short run back. It's only a few feet. Probably 4 maybe feet. This will be very close. Gonna be okay, I think. Gonna be perfect, maybe. No, just perfect in my books, but for her, I'm sure she would have liked to have hung around with that one. Just need to hit a half an inch thicker. So Campbell, the intern, come around. Once again, this will be Rachel Erickson. Second stone. Working pretty hard on this, but I think it's going to be fine. Don't necessarily want to be too deep. That's a very good shot. Yeah, it's just when you start to get a little too deep on that shot and the other team freezes to it, you're still shot rock, but it gets to be very, very difficult trying to figure out where that second one's going to be, where you're going to where you are going to get the second one in to be able to score. So that's the problem, and that's why that one, even that shot, probably 2 feet shorter would have been a little bit better, but still pretty darn good. Selena Negevin now with a freeze attempt. This one is way out there. Don't know if it's going to get over far enough or not. Sweeper's working on it. Going to get shot rock. Most teams have been a little tiny bit fortunate with a couple of their misses that have ended up in pretty good places. And that's not a bad shot. I mean, that's perfect weight. Just needed to curl a little bit more. So, but a good opportunity here for Campbell. If she can make this shot, just roll over into the 8-foot somewhere. Laws really doesn't have much choice but to hit it. And you could end up with just a case of back-to-back takeouts 2 or 3 times and get your deuce. See what happens. Third stone, Abby Ackland. Gonna have to go hard here, I think. It's gonna curl on you. If they can keep it off their own. Okay. Not bad. Kaitlyn Lawes now wants to throw hack weight. Take this one and just flop a little tiny bit, which would leave it in a good position for her and a very difficult position for Campbell to remove it. Should be close. Trying to make it curl now. Well, plan A was to remove it. She did do that. Now Campbell's going to go right around. Just don't want to set up a double here. The other option, the one thing about coming around, keeps a 3 alive for sure. The other option could be just to play the draw down to the one by your broom there. Outturn draw, just sit on top of it. And like I said before, Kaitlyn would probably have to play it. I don't think she would ignore it. I'd be willing to take that chance if I was Campbell, but it's curling so hard and so nicely now, and it finishes so well that Not too surprised to see her make this call, and this will be a great shot if she can just tuck it in there. Got to get there, though, first of all. Go a little bit more. She get far enough. She won't be number 2, but it's not a bad spot at all. Really difficult to remove. So overall, pretty good shot, I think. Would have liked to have been number 2 for sure. Go another rock or so would have been number 2. Both buried, and then Laws probably would have played the run back. Kaitlyn looking at drawing. Probably doesn't have a lot of choice here. Team Laws taking quite a while to decide on this one. She could always, if she was really wanting to, she could play. Maybe she can't. Sorry, I was saying to say she could play the yellow on the red, but on the overhead, it really doesn't look like a reasonable shot to play. Yeah. When you don't have to, it just opens up something that maybe you don't want to open up. So Law's going to play the draw, kind of halfway in between the rock at the top of 8 and rock top of the button. Kaitlyn Law's first shot here in the second end. In turn, come around draw. Expect her to be close. She covered the pin on her draw to the button. It must be close. So saw Peterman going a little bit on it. Gordon now trying to make it curl. She'll get there. It's a pretty darn nice weight. Is removable. Little tap. Try not to leave your shooter right there, I don't think. You'd like to roll away a little bit, but you might not have the luxury of doing everything on the shot. You definitely got to get by the guard and remove it. So Jolene Campbell got a chance here to get her 2 back. It's going to take a good shot here. Just match up the ice and the weight. Always the key in curling. Especially nowadays with ice that curls so much. Many years ago when the ice curled much less, it was really a lot easier to figure it out. Went this almost curled the same amount no matter what weight we threw. So Jolene Campbell looking for probably a back house, maybe even hack weight on this shot. I don't think any more than that. Sweepers are keeping it straight. Kind of doing both right now, just trying to get it for weight. I don't think it's going to get by. It's not horrible, though. Got a couple of options now. Kaitlyn Law's probably going to draw again, and she will. Campbell now with number 2, number 3, number 4. So very important that Kaitlyn Laws gets this one in a place where she wants it. Normally you'd say it's usually a little bit not so bad if you're short on a guard attempt, but too short on this one. You'd leave a pretty easy, fairly easy looking raised takeout, slash, whatever word you want to use for it, off of the red for a multiple score. I think Jolene Campbell probably a little bit light on that. It's hard to believe when you're looking down there. I'm sure looking at 4 feet of ice, you're thinking, I don't want to overthrow it. But I think she needed a little bit more than what she threw. Kaitlyn threw that a little differently, I thought. And she let it go, at least. It just seems like a little bit of a different looking release. It is way, way out there. I know it curls, but will it curl enough? It probably ends up guarding. Oh, she got in there even. Worked out really well. Don't think you want to try to do it that way too often, but it's worked out perfect. Or almost perfect, I think. You can't really get rid of both yellows. To get the little rub and have it go through there was a bonus break, if there's such a thing. Campbell now, we're actually going to have a little hard time scoring. She could get 2 by playing the angle on the red. Really difficult, but it's makeable. It might be the only way you're going to even score. Don't think there's very much on this side. There is the raised yellow, red, red for 1. But I got to believe that the little slash raise takeout on the other side is at least easier than that. So a very long end number 2 here. Last couple of shots have been a lot to talk about. I don't know if they're considering looks like they're possibly considering the very long raised yellow onto red, onto yellow. Could be for as many as 4 if you made it, but holy smokes, it's not very easy. I feel like you've got to throw, yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you've got to play this red one out here and slash it in there and at least maybe score 1. You don't want to hit it on the yellow that she just said there, but you're already going to give up a point here and you're playing Kaitlyn Laws. It's not, it's not going to be easy to score a lot of points. So just going to play this. Not very much ice. It's probably, but everything so far that they've thrown down here has gone really straight until the big finish. And so maybe with the weight that she's going to throw, which I didn't expect her to throw, I thought she'd throw something probably in around board weight or so, but looks like she's going to go after this with just a normal takeout weight and try to pick it out and score a 1 and be happy. She'll probably be really happy, to be honest. Well, going to change this up. She may feel, I don't know if I agree, but she may feel that she can see enough of the yellow that she hits it, it ticks off the red, goes across the top of the other yellow, and all the yellows go, and she scores multiple points. If you're pretty confident that that would work, that wouldn't be a bad try, but you'd have to be very confident and at least be sure that one yellow is going to go, and she's not, obviously. So she's back to square one, back to the first call, which is the ankle race takeout. Commonly referred to as a slash. Tough shot, really tough shot. It makes it tougher because you're so afraid of oversweeping and have it stay out there and giving up two. So Jolene Campbell throwing full takeout. She's in the neighborhood. If they got it right, a curl enough. Great shot and made it for two. Holy smokes, I didn't think she could make that for two throwing that weight. That is a tremendous shot for Jolene Campbell. She will pick up her deuce here in end number two and tie this up at two as we go to the break. I got a great game brewing here in our opening draw coverage of this RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here in Swift Current. Some very good shots so far. We've had a lot of tremendous shots. Both Kaitlyn Laws and Jolene Campbell made terrific shots with their last rocks in their respective ends of having hammer to each score two to tie this on up. And we are looking at the third end, just a couple of rocks in. Looks like a center guard, attempted center guard went up and went in. I'm not quite sure how we got to this position, but I think Jolene Campbell's obviously first rock just curled too much off the center line. Kaitlyn Laws tried to come around, came up a little short, and Campbell hit it. So that's basically what I feel happened. Not quite sure, as we were not on at that time. So Kristen Gordon with her second here in the third end. Playing the intern draw. And that one comes up a little short as well. So this time around, the outturn come around for Campbell. This one's out quite a ways. Will it break hard? And it will. I'm sure. Might be a little bit heavy. Not bad. Very nice. About half open. Maybe probably only a third open from that hack. But Kaitlyn Laws now able to remove that rock, and she will try to do so. Looking for probably board weight. I'm guessing that was what that indication was with the little tap on the hip. Looking to try to get a little bit to the inside, maybe flop in behind those guards and beyond the rings. Peterman. Yeah, not going to get across it, but might be able to roll on this way. Will it come in? Will it stay out? It will just come in. So Campbell, unfortunately for her, pretty much has to hit that. Leave her rock exposed in the 4-foot, but you don't really have much choice here. So turn hit. Not very much ice out here, but I expect it will stay out there. Just trying to curl a little bit. Try to make sure you're on the rings, and she will. Oh, nicely done. Big expectations to try to think we're going to roll that one behind the guard. I think that would have been about a 6-foot roll. Those are not super easy. Sometimes a 1-foot roll is hard enough. So Kaitlyn's going to play the outside one. She could play the one on the 4-foot. She would probably be a little bit behind the guard if she rolled in, or a little bit behind the tee line rather, if she rolled behind the guard. Let me say that. So Peterman now playing the in-turn hit. Wants to flop a little bit. She's going to roll to where? Not very far. I thought she might roll a little further than that. Looked like it was not going to hit quite so much, but Campbell now will look to make the same roll. It's a little shorter now, a little tiny bit more manageable. Probably only have to roll 5.5 feet instead of 6. No, probably 5 feet will do it. Mostly just hit and stay. Make sure you hit and stay. Keep Kaitlyn playing that one. It'll be good. And she will hang it on the edge. I don't think Kaitlyn will chase that one. Looking at possibly a roll all the way over and land on top of the red. That'd be a great shot if you could make it. She's just a little hesitant to play around the guard here if she can avoid it. Campbell, on the other hand, wouldn't mind being able to come right around that. Loss probably wants to stay in play here, though. I'm going to maybe just hit it on the nose. Close to nose. So opportunity now for Campbell. A lot of room between the guards and the house. Looking for the same sort of weight, board weight. It's not a lot of ice. There is more room than it looks sometimes when we're looking down the sheet. Third stone, Abby Ackland. It's not going to get inside. Needs to stay. And she did stay. Maybe just hack weight might have been a little bit better on that shot if you're trying to roll that one in, I think, rather than that board weight. So Kaitlyn says she can't chase those two that are just back 12 foot. Going to get a little bit aggressive here and play the out-turn draw for Selena around those guards. Selena Negaman. Makes sense. You're going to be forced anyway. You're never going to be able to double any of those off, and you might as well go ahead and, as they say, get forced into more than one. It's close for weight, I think. Peterman now trying to make it curl. It's good. Good shot. Would have been like to have been a little tiny bit deeper, just get a little bit more curl. It's probably removable. Got to be a little careful with the jam, but Looks like she's going to ask for the same weight as the last one. That might even be a little less ice than the last one. Sometimes you just have a preference on weight and you're not comfortable with one or another weight. And so she's obviously comfortable with this weight. And if that's the case, then she might as well go ahead and play it. It just gets a little harder to stay, I think. So this way, it's a little bit tight, looked like to me out of her hand, but looks pretty good. Gonna hold it out there. Very nicely done. Great shot by Jolene Campbell. That was beautiful weight. That was perfect weight for that shot. So Laws now will look to roll underneath those guards. If she does, she'll force Campbell into playing the come around, which could be a bad thing, could be a good thing, depending on where you get with your shot. Kaitlyn Laws. Ooh, they might have left this a little too long. She might make the double, though. She almost got all three. Hard to believe that that would have even been remotely possible. But she's very close to, or was very close to getting all three. As it turns out, she gets two of them out, leaves one in the 12-foot. So not a bad result for Kaitlyn Laws. She was always going to probably have a draw for Campbell of some sort, but worked out pretty good. Probably going to have to make a shot against two. I'm not even sure who shot here, but it looks like Red shot. So I think that you'll end up with a force here if you make a good shot, and you could force her to make a really good shot as well. Make this good. You put Kaitlyn would have to draw maybe the button to score. Well, that doesn't seem like a problem today. She needs to be able to put it right on the button at will. Keepers on this a bit. I'm thinking maybe more for line than weight, but looks pretty good. That's very good. I think that's a great shot by Jolene Campbell. Kaitlyn doesn't even look at it. She basically says, I have to draw. She knows she can't hit it. So a good force for the Campbell team, and Law still has to make it. She just needs full 4-foot. But anything less than that would lead to a steal for Jolene Campbell. So an open draw to the 4-foot for Kaitlyn Laws here in the third to score a 1. So it needs to curl a bit, but it's inevitable that it will curl enough. It's just a matter if it's going to be a little tiny bit heavy, possibly. And it will not be. So a nice draw for 1 for Kaitlyn Laws. Nice force for Jolene Campbell. And we are finished 3 ends here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. And Kaitlyn Laws leads 3-2 over Jolene Campbell. So we're back for end number 4. Here in Swift Current Curling Club, 6-sheet curling club here in Swift Current. Nice, great ice conditions. Looks like a lovely facility. And Kaitlyn Laws is enjoying a 3-2 lead over Jolene Campbell after 3 ends of play. Said at the end of the last end, it's been some great shots. The skips have come to play today for sure. Teams have come to play, but the skips in particular are very sharp. For a little hit and roll here. Indicated it might have been a little bit heavy. Possibly was for what they were looking for, but worked out okay. So Daniel Devons, lead stone for Jolene Campbell here. Playing a hit. You have to go a bit on that one. It curls pretty hard if the weight's not down a little bit. It's going to be okay. Maybe roll a little bit further than they planned, but so the outturn hit now for Team Laws. Jocelyn Peterman. Fresh off a mixed double win, I believe, last weekend over the lots with husband Brent Gallant. This one's okay. It's curling pretty hard as well, but Kristen Gordon holding it up pretty good. It will roll I don't think there's any way to roll perfect. The ice has got enough curl in it for sure this week that even if that was 100% buried, you're still going to be able to get to it and stay. Because that one's pretty close to 100% buried, and I don't think she'll have much trouble hitting this and hanging around out and maybe in the 8-foot or something, which for Campbell probably would be preferred anyways. Working hard on this one. Got to go to get it over. She's going to get a piece. Not sure she'll get enough to hang around or not. And she will not. So good chance now for Laws to come right around again. It is tough, though, because it's not because you can't remove it. So Kaitlyn's going to look for something maybe in top 12-foot, a little harder to remove. And perhaps Jolene Campbell has to play the peel, in which case then she can use the run she's just throwing now as the guard. Sweeper's just cleaning this, really, not doing any more than that. Now go a little harder. Might not get there. So they left it just a hair short. Nothing wrong with that. And it might even be on once you get a little different angle at it, but it's not a tremendously big deal other than it could be the difference between forcing Campbell to take one or not take one. So that's the only thing really. Second stone, Rachel Erickson with her final rock here in the fourth. It's not quite curling as much as they'd hoped. Gonna get it over there maybe. Didn't really want to be behind the tee line either, but so Selena Negevin now will try to play the freeze. Sweeper's going pretty hard. You see both sweepers going and they're going hard, then usually pretty good indication that it's somewhat light, because we seem to hardly ever have two sweepers going at the same time nowadays. Sure enough, top 8 foot. Not a bad setup for Laws in that she doesn't have hammer though, and she's got a center guard and a couple of rocks behind the center guard that can act as guards and staggered and all of that stuff. The problem right now is Campbell had a shot rock. Look at the outturn come around. Put this in and put it above the tee line. You'd be change the complexion of the end quite a bit. Yeah, it's not a good shot. Abby Ackland, very, very, very light. So Negevin now with a chance to make this shot better, a little bit better than the first one, and really put some heat on the Campbell team, because their rock is doing nothing but help you at this point. Got to get this one to curl up on the toes. Every ounce of weight that she's got down on the brush, pressure. Just that little bit heavy for Negevin. Big, big break for Campbell. She made that the way she was called. Campbell would have been in a significant amount of trouble. Abby Ackland with a chance to do it much better, I'm sure she's thinking. Girls at this level don't usually miss draw shots by double-digit feet, so it's sometimes hard to ask to throw a little bit more because you need a fair bit more. Both sweepers going on this one as well. I'm not sure this is going to get there. It breaks in now. It'll be close, but not quite. Going to be top house. So Ackland won't be real excited with her shots from this end, so she'll probably do much better in the next end. Kaitlyn Laws now. Going to try the outturn side by the look of it. She, on the other hand, hasn't missed the tee line with a draw yet today, so I expect this one will be close. Not sure what she was indicating there. It seemed like she might have been okay with it being at the top of the 8-foot. If it is, it might as well be wide open because you're going to want to use it on the next shot. I'm not thinking that she would think that would be good because Campbell could come around the intern sit 2 in that case, which would not be as good a thing. But anyway, I think the indication on the shot really is to come right around to the top of the button and be shot rock when you're done. As I said, Kaitlyn's been on the tee line all day, so I think the weight on this is probably very good if they can get it by. Got it by the top one. She's going to be a little light this time. The announcer's jinx, I guess. It's a bit of an odd house here right now. It's not a lot of room for anybody, but I think the intern draw around is the shot that Campbell will play. I'm not sure. She does have hammer, and I'm sure she's a little afraid of a little tap on the yellow by Laws, but you don't really kind of have to ignore that, I think. You need a second stone in there for sure. And while they're doing this, and now that I'm reading this shirts a little bit better, and thanks to one of our viewers in live chat, I have been having the third and the second backwards on the Jolene Campbell team, and it's actually Rachel Erickson that's playing third, and Abby Ackland's playing second. So apologies for that. We will get it right the rest of the way. I'm going to hard look at this. Tough situation in a little bit because you're sort of trying to play offense and play defense both here. You're trying to figure out what happens if, and that's always what makes curling fun, but it's also what makes it sometimes challenging to make a decision. There's the 2 shots you just were indicated by second stone Ackland. It's either the outturn at the top of the 4-foot or the in-turn at the top of the 4-foot, I think. Is where you got to go, and they're trying to make sure that they do it but not set up a double on the reds, obviously, because then you would be drawing against multiple points. Mind everybody too, we will be covering every draw, every game, every draw at this event, and this event goes right through to the end of the day on Monday, both the men's and ladies side. Not all games will have commentary, but we'll have at least a game or 2 covered in with commentary each round. So we look forward to having you take it in with us, and also look forward to hearing from you on the chat. Anything that you'd like to ask. They have quite a conversation going on there now about the blank end options that are being considered and with a good group of people. So if you have an opinion on that, jump over and feel free to make a comment. Keep all the comments obviously curling, and we're all good. Jolene Campbell with the intern draw. She get it by the top one. She's close. Might be a hair heavy. Not going to get by. Probably want to sweep that back, I think. They chose not to, but I think I would have tried to get that back as far as I could get it. Chance for Kaitlyn Laws to make a double and sit 4 here with most of them buried. That's really close by Campbell. She sneaks that by. She's pretty good. She's going to be a little bit deep and leave a little bit more of a freeze to pocket to draw to, but still a pretty good effort on the weight side of it, at least. So Laws, big shot here. She could put Campbell in a lot of trouble by making this. Even just a hit and roll behind that, if she doesn't make the double, she's going to be in a good position. So that rock, despite being almost good for Campbell, ended up in just a terrible place for her. Kaitlyn does not have much ice here, so she's throwing some weight at this. And she throws a big weight very well, as most of the players do now, but for skip, she certainly does. She'll be close. It's going to curl. Is it going to curl too much? No, it's perfect. It's a great shot. It's just a really good indication that at this level, you just don't get away with misses, even little misses like Jolene just had on her shot. Not a horrible throw by any stretch, but you just can't leave those situations. And unfortunately, she did. The one good news for her, though, is that the yellow rock that Kaitlyn just threw it found its way at least to the back of the 4-foot. So if she can hit full 4-foot, slightly more than full 4-foot, but more or less full 4-foot, then she'll still be able to score. And it was a big point here in the 4th end. Be tied up with Hammer in the even ends. It's not so bad, but admittedly, it did look a lot better a few minutes ago. So Jolene Campbell, draw to the 4-foot, must make shot, or at least must make in the sense that you can't give up a lot of points. Sweeper's on this, and this is going to curl hard. I don't think this is going to work. She just looks like she's going to be light and on the guard and give up a steal of 4 to Kaitlyn Laws here in the 4th end. Not really close on that shot. So Kaitlyn Laws going into the 4th end break will have a commanding 7-2 lead here at the RBC Securities, Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Be back after the break. For Kaitlyn Laws in the 4th end, kind of broke this one open a little bit, and Jolene Campbell now has a not insurmountable but close to it deficit to overcome here. Unfortunate, because both teams are playing well, and both skips were playing very, very well until that last shot for Campbell. The hazards of playing skips, when you do miss a shot here and there, it just has such huge effects sometimes on the game. So Campbell throwing up the corner guard, and she'll throw up another corner guard, I believe, here, and looks like she's going to throw the 2 corner guards on the same side kind of thing. Unless she's trying to go right in. I think it's a little bit early to go in, but she might be calling this in. No, she's looking at stacking the corners on this side. I haven't decided myself if I love this yet or not, but seeing more and more teams playing it, so I'm guessing it must be a good thing. it does prevent some situations. But anyway, 2 corners are up and the 2 in the middle. Kaitlyn Laws will throw another rock into the 4-foot or into the top of the 4-foot. And then she'll look at peeling the corners, and Jolene will look at trying to figure out how to utilize those corners. Difficult once they have 3 rocks in. It is a challenge to, when you go with the 2 corner guards and the other team throws 3 good shots and puts them in the middle of the sheet. It is sometimes a challenge to be able to utilize the corners because you've got to also move a bunch of yellow rocks. It's tough. So draw here by Peterman. Just looking to sit on top of the 1 in the 4-foot. Be a little bit light, but it's fine. Campbell now going around the corner as expected. At some point, as hard as it is, and you don't want to do it, you will have to make a bit of a move on the yellows and try to make a hit and roll or 2 along the way. Girls working hard on this one. Such good sweepers now. Everybody's in such good shape. It's great. And they can go. That's not going to be good, though. So Abby Auckland, second stone for Campbell. Significant miss there. That's not terribly close. Kaitlyn Laws looking at double peel of sorts. You might be able to get both of them and get the shooter to roll, but I don't think so. She's trying to decide which way to go because the way she was looking, in order to get rid of both guards, you might have to hit a little too thick and could possibly drive it back onto the yellows, but I don't think I'd worry too much about that just yet. So the out turn with some weight for Jocelyn Peterman. She's going to get both. She might roll straight through, and she did. And puts another rock in the 4-foot. Couldn't have went too much better than that. Although there are 2 corner guards left. Campbell's going to have to move a rock or 2 here to be able to try to use those and also still be able to do anything, really. She's got 5 rocks to come in the end, so she has a bit of time, but that's a lot of granite with yellow handles in the house there. So Abby Auckland now with her second stone in the 4th end. First end, she's actually been called by the right name, right position, I guess, as well. So the in-turn freeze here, freeze / come around. Either one of those is probably fine. Working this one hard too. A lot of sweeping lately. I don't know if things have slowed down a little bit or not. I'll try to get a couple times here and see what it looks like, but it just seems like the last couple ends we've had more rocks short than significantly more short than we're getting in the first part of the game. Oz and Niven are going to have a little chat about this. Sometimes you get the 5-point lead. It's like, well, what do we really do? I think you probably peel this guard would be a better play, but she's looking at, well, I can hit the yellow on the red, get rid of that red. The only problem with that is you're leaving the 2 reds that are potentially a little bit more of a problem than that one, to be honest. Nice thing about the 7-2 lead, whichever one of these you call is probably helpful and not really going to be put you in a bad position. These are the hard ones when you're down 7-2. You're sitting back there thinking, "Come on, you guys, just call something. This is tough enough as it is." But it does give you a chance to at least chat yourselves and think about what you might be able to do. She is going to peel the corner after all. It's what I would have expected that they would have came to by the time they were done. It's really the rock that's a potential problem for you. And Selena, no trouble peeling that one off. Jolene Campbell now will ask Rachel Erickson to draw to the back one. It's even with the score the way it is, you do have to still have a little bit of patience, and in the sense that you're probably not going to get 4 or something in this end. So you sort of look at it and say, look, let's try to get our 2. Get a break somewhere. We maybe get 3, but let's try to get 2, back to within 3. Try to steal one end or so, and then and see what happens. Try to get to where maybe you're only down a point coming home. Another light stone, though. Okay, and I'll probably get rid of all the reds here if she wants, without too much risk. I think it's little chance of having it go back on the yellow, but there is some. It looks like she's probably going to end up playing the shot she was looking at the last end. That's just hit the yellow that's in the port, basically. Just hit it right on the nose and get rid of the red that's in the house. Just will make it a little bit easier for Jolene Campbell to play that same shot they just played. She'll have a little bit more room to work with. I get a little bit of curl. I want to make sure they hit it first. They're fine. Good result. Some of these ones that today, Kaitlyn's teams play well. She's played very well. And as usually happens when you're the team with the lead, whenever things kind of go your way or some options that maybe you didn't even see, they're probably falling on the Laws team a little more than the Campbell team today. But sometimes, as they say, you make your own breaks and all that kind of thing. And if you're playing well, it usually seems to be when you get if there's a break to be gotten, it's usually you that's going to get it. So they're not massive breaks. They just had a couple of little things that could have went the other way. So Erickson now, the intern double, although didn't get the double. That's surprising. I thought that would hold enough to get that. And she's more importantly there, she's really trying to make the double, but also get a little bit of a roll. So it's not a wide open hit for Kaitlyn Laws. He's decided to not play this hit. I thought she would still play the hit. I know there's places it could jam, but I still thought she'd probably get rid of the rock on the center line. There's no real reason to think that she won't end up with a decent guard here, but if for some reason the guard ever overcurled or undercurled, you might leave the raise double takeout to have red have two rocks in the house then, and maybe even both behind the corner guards. And I don't know, just a bit surprised she's not getting rid of that the red on the bite in the center line. Or even the other one. I suppose you could get rid of the other one too, would be better. But I mean, she's going to guard. That does a trick. So no need to worry about that after all. Campbell now, though, does have the in-turn draw around this corner guard, which she can definitely get shot rock on and be solidly behind the guard. Jolene Campbell drawing first shot, fifth end. Definitely needs to make this one. It's out quite a ways. Needs to curl. Starting to go. Not going to get to the inside, though. Not probably going to get to the nose even. Good try. Just weight wasn't bad. Just looking to really sit on it or get a little tiny bit inside flop, which would have been good. And that's kind of the weight she threw. She threw just back 8 foot. Kaitlyn Laws playing serious defense here by the look of it, unless she's going to change this. No. She's looking to take away the only real draw option that Jolene Campbell has, and that's the same shot she just threw. Lots of options she had with this shot. She could have just followed that one down if she wanted to. Could have hit it. But she's opted to play the guard. Try to take away the draw path here from Jolene. Girls have got a great handle on the ice. They just basically threw that right where Selena's broom was. And that would not have been a shot that we played the whole day, really, where you're taking that ice to go there. We've had a couple of corner guards up, but not usually have we gone around them in that situation. So it's very nicely done for Kaitlyn Laws. Made it extremely difficult now for Jolene Campbell to score at all. There's no way to score more than one, but He's going to probably have to go over the face of the red across the face of the red that's just off the circles and tap that to the forefoot, I think would be the choice. I don't know if that's what they are thinking. I think it has to be. So final rock for Campbell here in the fifth end. Pretty much has to make this, or I'm guessing that they would probably call it a day or call it a game. Anyways, they'd probably play again today. So little out turn tap, probably back forefoot for weight would be good. Oh, she's not playing that. Sorry. She's playing the double run, which would be for 2 if you ever made it, but I'm not sure how it's going to end up here. She might score yet. No. So Kaitlyn Laws will pick up 2 more here in the fifth end and lead 9-2, and I think it looks like it's over. Kaitlyn Laws with a 9-2 victory here in the first round of the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current. That game really came down to one shot. The miss by Campbell in the fourth to give up the steal of 4 was really the difference. Up until then, the game was really dead even. Both skips had been playing very, very well. And it looked like we'd have a nail biter right down to the end, but no such luck. So just a reminder, you can flop over to one of the other games that we're covering. We have coverage, video coverage of all of the games here in this event. And we have commentary in others as well. I know we have commentary in one other game this morning. I'm not sure which game it is, but you could probably find that. And we hope we'll see you for the whole weekend here in Swift Current as we cover many, many games with a lot of good teams. Should be a lot of good games. So that's it for now. Thank you. I'm Jim Nix, and I will be back again in a few hours.